Almighty God for a beautiful morning, a beautiful day, a new opportunity, a new privilege for you and I to, go all out, explore, and be successful, and reach out, and be a blessing, and also be blessed. So my prayer for you today, even as we set out, is that no matter what you do, as long as it is to the will and according to the perfect, direction of the Almighty God, the Lord will bless it, the Lord will perfect it, and the Lord will make all things to be perfect concerning you, your family, your home. This nation, Nigeria, the Lord will continue to help us, and He will take us to a place where we ourselves will be looking like you and say, so Nigeria can be like this. That's what we're going to get at the end of the day. And I want to say, someone is saying like this, that's what we're going to get. Yes, you can imagine. Naira is coming up, don't worry. That Onra, Konera is going to get to the highest level, and we're going to revive that currency back to its place. On that note, I want to say good morning Nigeria, good morning Lagos, good morning wherever you're joining us or you're watching us from. It's another beautiful episode on Galaxy Television, and the program is Family and Values. My name's remain Olori Adejoke Adubi David, and I'm simply called Olori AJ. So, what's been happening to you? I hope you had a splendid night, and that's why I'm moving on to Joy Girl this morning, because she's looking all white and black. And I don't know. I need to see gym guide. I need to see that person. I have a particular place I want the person to actually focus on. And I will need some changes. Joy, how are you this morning?
I'm fine, I'm good. Good morning. I'll come back to you, but first let me attend to obvious. Good morning to our esteemed viewers. Good morning. It's another Thursday where we talk about health, fitness, of course, you see. When it comes to Thursday, we are always coming to the studio looking fitted, We say check your BP, do the exercise, and so we come and you can see. Somebody today told me and said, you've trimmed down. I said yes, because we actually are working out and trying to know.
We're really doing it.
We're really doing it.
When we get to Ogundano, we decide to just do all the work down the way.
Yes,
that is another counting for us.
Okay, welcome to another Thursday. It promises to be healthy, informative, educative. It's one Thursday you don't want to miss, because the topic of today is something we all need to know in our families. My name still remains Joy Abu, and we are streaming across all our social media platforms on Galaxy Television. Download the Galaxy mobile app so that you can watch us on the go. Yes, it's another day. Welcome to Family and Values.
Watch us on the go.
On the go, right?
That number is not a call number, it's a text message. We need all your responses. We need to get information, and your feedback. It's very, very key for us, because you cannot just walk and you don't have to say, hello, you're looking beautiful.
Yeah,
your head will swell and you're like, wow, I'm looking beautiful. Even when you are not, in your spirit mind, you are down. But the moment you come out and say good morning.
Yes, and the good thing about telling one you're beautiful, you're being loved, is when it comes from someone you love. This morning, yesterday I was a bit off balance, and this morning I had a call, and my mom was like, hey, get up, be strong, don't be moody, don't be this. So I initially, that's when you're vibrating, and the synergy was just coming, and so I was in that mood. I was already jumping, like they gave me one check like that. Meanwhile, it was just words
are
very,
a long way.
Words
are very, that's why I said, if you give me a gift and you don't put a word, not go jail where, because that word, it's not because you want to fool me. I'm a lover of words, because words has a lot of weight, and it means something even when you don't like that person, and you're like, wow, thank you for this. The person will always remember. So this person, upon say I think say like still tell me thank you for doing this.
What pierces deep inside, and when words are spoken from a point of sincerity and genuinity, you know where it's coming from. And then for every time you're going through situations, you remember those words, and those words come to you and it boosts you up. No matter how down you are, somebody might just randomly send you one thing, and it just kickstarts your day and takes you off that moody environment that you have, so Yeah.
It's
What's
so
our
good.
key?
What's our key? What's our key? And I'll be picking up an award today. Thank you.
Congratulations.
I'll be picking up an award, and it's from Paparazzi Media TV. It's an online stuff, and when they said, "Olori, you have been nominated for," and I said, "Which one be your nomination?"
I did not know. Congratulations.
You're picking you as the stylish broadcaster of the year. I said, "Wait,
you better buy the. Let me not talk. But you know what to do, Sha. But congratulations.
It's all good, and nothing makes you more happy.
Yes, when you're being appreciated.
When you're being appreciated. Yeah. So always appreciate Nigeria. That's where I'm going. This country now we own. I was listening to "I Love My Country, I Know God."
Die. You know, it's a childhood song. I think I listened to that song years ago.
Yes, and the Nobel laureate.
Yes,
and some
yes,
other people
yes.
put it together.
I think I listened to that song.
I saw a remix with Yemi Sholade, Yemi, and all of them coming together to put those with this late Uncle Jimmy Sholade,
Jimmy Sholade,
and Yinka Davis, and all of them. I said, God, and it brought back that memory, brings back the memory. Sorry, and you know, I was like, wow, please, if we can say God bless America. Say God bless Nigeria.
When you pray, teach your children to
pray for the country. It is not Nigeria that is making things bad. It is we.
It is the individuals.
It is we that keep our home. It is we that keep our family. It is we that love our family too. It is we that need to be committed to our family. And that's why we have families and value. That is why we want you, me, myself, Joy, all of us to come together. Let's build our home.
Let's build our home.
It helps our nation in all totality. And I want to say a big shout out to a friend, Emmanuel, Ofem Emmanuel. This is coming from Shemilore, as you have another year, and God will bless you, God will prosper you, God will elevate you, God will continue to take you from glory to glory, and this will not be your list, okay? Happy birthday to you from Shemilore. Okay, so this is where we need to go for our mini feature. It's very, very important to stay back. And the reason why you need to sit down and take time to listen, okay, is because it's very important to you and it's key. Let's go for a mini feature. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.
Effective use of first aid at home. First aid is an undervalued skill that many may consider unnecessary, especially today when emergency services are right around the corner. However, first aid is more than merely putting a plaster on a cut or a scraped nail, and 8 out of 10 people do not know basic first aid procedures that could save a loved one's life. Not only does first aid provide people with a basic skill on how to manage and treat minor wounds, stabilize an injured person until medical services arrive, but it helps people take control of a situation and it prepares them to handle an emergency more effectively. Accidents and injuries can occur anywhere, at home, at workplace, while driving, or while participating in sport event. They are not wished for, but they happen. However, it's essential to be prepared for such medical emergencies. Keeping a first aid kit at home may help you respond effectively to common injuries and emergencies. First aid kit helps you handle medical emergencies as quickly as possible. In an emergency, a delay of just a minute can cause irreconcilable damage. These kits offer basic and instant care for common medical injuries, like injuries, burn, cuts, etc. A first aid kit contains all vital medical products in one easy location, so in case of an emergency, you do not have to waste valuable time assembling the appropriate medical items. A well-equipped first aid kit in most cases can prevent further complications with the injury or medical condition. Keeping a medical kit handy can be cost-effective because it's less likely a wound treated immediately, but a first aid kit will require complex attention in the future. A basic first aid kit may contain plasters in a variety of different sizes and shapes, a small, medium, and large sterile gauze dressing, at least 2 sterile eye dressings, triangular bandages, crepe rolled bandages, safety pins, disposable sterile gloves, scissors, alcohol-free cleansing wipes, thermometer, preferable digital, skin rash cream such as hydrocortisone, cream and spray to relieve insect bites and stings, antiseptic cream, painkillers, aspirin not to be given to children under 16, distilled water for cleaning wounds, eye wash, and eye bath. It may also be useful to keep a basic first aid manual or instruction booklet with your first aid kit. Medicines should be checked regularly to make sure they are within their use-by dates. If nothing else convinces you, keep in mind that the people around you may not be as prepared as you are. Your first aid kit may come in handy if anyone around you experiences any of the injuries mentioned above. Kids and elderly people are most susceptible to injuries and accidents. First aid kits act as an indispensable medical item for all.
Come back, it's the Family and Values, and you've not missed anything. As much as possible, we've just started. And today, like you heard from the mini features, we'll be looking at the effectiveness of first aid in our home, first aid kits in our home. What is a first aid kit? What are those items that it's supposed to be there? Are you to go to the pharmacy and just get everything on your own? You know, how do you put these kits together? What are the things? Do you use any kind of box? Maybe you use the box you put your lunch box, you know. It depends. What we're looking at this morning is what is a first aid kit. And to do justice to that, we are trying to connect with our Zoom guest in person of Dr. Africa Umuyali. While we're waiting for him to connect to us, to you, what's a first aid kit? Do you have one at home? How effective do you check it? You know, how well do you check it to make sure that the drugs you have on it are still very, very good? They have not expired. You know, sometimes God has been so good to some people like me. And you look at it and you're like, there are some drugs that you just need to throw them away after a while because it has expired. And because you have not used them, there was no need for you to use them in the first place. So why would you want to keep them when it's expired? Mm-hmm. So to you, what's a first aid kit? Do you have one?
Okay. Let me start by saying, when we were growing up, we used to have this, my dad had this first aid box that was, I'll call it professional first aid box because it literally had everything in it. And he used to keep it there. So when you have little injuries, he would clean it. And then I remember growing up, I went somewhere and I was gifted a first aid box. So I kept it and I had literally everything in it. So growing up, I knew what the importance of first aid box was and the things that were needed inside first aid box. So I've always had them. And then, you know, in school, sometimes they'll demand and say, okay, we need first aid box for our kids. But I've seen parents just go and do one, tell carpenter to do box, paint it, put there and then buy things. But ideally, first aid box should be a professional tool that has everything in it, everything complete. And you don't just walk into the pharmacy and say, oh, I want to buy things to put inside my first aid box, you know. There are certain basics you just need to understand the need and how to make use of it. The common one is they'll tell you the cotton wool, the mentholated spirit, but there is more to the first aid box than just that. So for me, first aid box has always been a part of me. Even in the car, I used to have one inside the car, you know, just to make sure in case of bruises.
Just like you have a fire.
Yes, you know, it should be part of be part of every car owner, because when there is a minor accident, that's the first thing you administer. And then there is this particular drug that was there. Was it not
antibiotics?
Not antibiotics. Very pepperish. I'm trying to remember the name. Like once they apply it on you, you would dance the 360. Oh my goodness, yes. You know, and every time there was an injury, I was so scared. That's the one thing I don't want you to bring close to me. But that's one thing
what
that
methylated spirit?
No, that one is pepperish, and immediately it goes off after a while. But seriously? You see that one? You see that iodine? Oh my goodness.
and the brownish
and you know
color. The moment I see like this,
it's always you would definitely
my body will start growing up.
Oh God!
Because my mom is a health person. And she was, and she is, and she will, she retired as one, and so you have injury. Forget, she will deal with it herself.
So it's always something
But
else.
really, it's good, and it's something that we need to make sure we have in our homes. But how do we put this thing together?
That's why we are waiting for
in Nigeria. Yes, we're trying to connect with our Zoom guests. I don't know, the wheat band is not so strong, and we're still trying to work on it. So one thing I know is this: as much as possible, when you want to put all this together, I think the best thing to do is to engage a professional, a health professional, in the person of a medical doctor or a nurse. The reason is because it will help you to not carry beyond your it's just a way to give yourself a first treatment. Not something, okay, you have a knife cut, what do you do? We know then when we were young, they will say, you put the time of sake now, they put, after cleaning it, they said to stop the blood, they will put some little, maybe salt to, I don't know how well that is. But everybody has got a way to stop different things when it comes to injury. But some will tell you, you are exposing, you don't have to expose the injury, the surface to certain thing. If you do this, you'll be exposing it. I remember there was a time when in the kitchen, and I think the oil spilled on my daughter, and she was like, "Mommy, what do I put now?" I said, "Do we have pap, cold pap in the freezer?" She said, "No." Okay, just put salt, and but some say, it's not good though. You don't have to do that though.
Some will tell you honey.
Just put Vaseline.
Yes, some will tell you apply just original honey to the surface.
Just put petroleum jelly like that. Or
good. We need.
And it's not just for us to have them. It's another thing for us to know how to use them. How do we use them? What are the things we need to put first? In a case of a cut where you have blood, what do you do first? Do you stop the bleeding? Do you just clean the surface? With what do you clean the surface? Sometimes you just pick any kind of cotton wool and you just want to wipe. No, it has to be a cotton wool that is safe, kept in cool and not exposed to dust, not exposed to all manner of, germs that can actually contaminate the injury, the surface of that injury. I think it will have to go for this water maple. I'll be right back, so don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Family and Values, and finally we have our guest on Zoom right here in Lagos, somewhere around Ajegunle, on your way to Lake Abeokuta. Okay, Lagos Abeokuta Expressway. Okay, I have Dr. Africa Ogunyale. How are you? Good morning. He is the medical director of MedMade Care. Hello, Africa. Good morning. Finally, I was going to enter the holies of holies because I was having what is happening?
A whole Dr. Africa himself.
Dr. Afri
himself.
Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
Joy, how are you? You ladies are looking beautiful as usual. Please, cut soap for me. Let me look beautiful.
Okay, I think we're still trying to work on his
audio
right now.
You know one thing about Dr. Africa, he's fond of putting. He will ask you, when last did you check your BP?
He's going to put it up to us.
I know he's definitely going to be asking.
is going to bring it on this morning. Africa, are you still there? Okay. So what are those
my Lord,
things
spiritual and
that we
temporal.
really need to have when we talk about our first aid box? You need a cotton wool. What else do you need? Africa is back. Hello, Africa. Are you there? Can you?
Yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm hearing you loud and clear. Well, good morning, and good morning, viewers. As she has said, my name is Ogunyale Africa. Well, why? The first question I expect from.
We can hear you. We can't hear you, Africa. We can't hear you. And we had to.
Is the network
session of patients, and we had to bring him up this morning. This won't be fair.
Hello, are you hearing me now?
This won't be fair. Okay. While we're trying to get back to Africa, what are those items that we need to have when we talk about our first aid box kit? Okay, the basic first aid kit may contain the following. You have a plaster in a variety of different sizes and shape. You know one thing, I love those, you know, those plasters that has this Mickey Mouse.
you see how you be loving plasters that have Mickey Mouse. You know, when they want, it's a way of enticing children with it. They created it so that the kids will be
when I was young, that's what I'm saying. When I was young, and up till now, I still love the fact that, you know, those brown ones, I know they like them. It looks somehow, it's not attractive, it's not, it looks like you are a real patient, you know, serious man.
You know, see, let me share this.
Everything about my life is flexible.
You know, when I was growing up, if we see the first aid box, you know, when you open it, the smell of it alone, you're like, oh my God, am I in the hospital or?
So I love those plasters in various sizes, but I love those ones that have this beautiful Mickey Mouse, and even though they tell you that will not last, you say like, I like it. Those ones that has beautiful colors and all that. You know, when you are treating patients, see, one thing about caring for someone who is sick or going through a particular pain, you know, at that time, that torture, you need to make it easy. You need to make it lively. You need to make it, you care, you appreciate, you want to feel like I'm also feeling that pain with you. So it must be something beautiful. Also, you need a small size, large, sterile
you also need
dresser.
Yes, you need gloves.
Yeah, you need gloves.
You need gloves inside your first aid box.
There are some injuries that you don't just use your hands.
Even if
you need to sanitize.
Yes, you need hand sanitizer inside your first. So if you have a first aid box that doesn't have gloves, that doesn't have hand sanitizers, that doesn't have flagyl, paracetamol, those are the basics. You need to have a flagyl, you need to have paracetamol, you need to have Panadol. Those are basic drugs you can administer immediately, and you also need to have
also
methylated spirits.
A sterile eye dresser that you can use to
clean, more like a scissors. Yeah, so you use it to
do the needful. And all that.
And then you also need
safety pins.
jig. Yes, you need this other one you apply when there is GV. You need GV inside your first aid box, and then you need a lot of cotton wools inside your first aid box, please.
Don't forget the sterile gloves. You need also alcohol-free cleansing wipes. Alcohol-free. You have wipes and you have wipes. You have the one you use for your babies. You have the one you use to clean your face, but this one doesn't need to have alcohol. I know the one you use to clean your baby's, to wipe the baby's bum, it's not alcohol, but doesn't have any scent of alcohol in it. But the one in their face, I think you have a little tiny. But so you don't need the one that has alcohol in it. Also, you need sticky tapes.
Yes.
Those sticky tapes, you use them to hold those sometimes to hold the bandage from one place to another, and also to do certain things. Unfortunately, Africa is not here. I wanted to ask so many questions this morning.
There are so many questions that
Also,
we
for
wanted
skin
to...
rashes, you have certain creams you need to use.
Those antifungal creams, you need to have them, so that once you wake up. And the thing about first aid box, why it's important for you to have it is because these things can occur mostly at night. You need to have at least, that's what we talked about, paracetamol, both for adults and for children.
And when such things happen, you know, you lose control.
You first need to apply that first aid before, and then you need this oral water, the sachet, so that it will help. And then you need vitamin C inside your first aid box. Those are things that would help you.
You need a pure, clean water. The reason is because, like I said, sometimes when many of us who are not used to seeing blood, the moment you see something, you're like, oh, all shaky and all that. But because you have an already sterile water, clean water in that box, you know, it helps you. Of course, you will know it's well sealed so that it will not mess up every other thing you have around in the container, or you put it just by the side, not inside the box. So that, you know, water is very powerful as well. So,
and then you need calamine lotion. You need calamine lotion inside your first aid box. So for those of you that have first aid box and it's just paracetamol mentholated spirit, you know that it's not a first aid box.
It's not complete.
It's not complete.
It's not
That's complete. You need calamine lotion. You need a lot, and that was why I needed Africa, so that he would tell us. You know, sometimes you have these things, and when emergencies occur, the quantity to administer is very key.
Very.
You know, there are some drugs you need to administer according to weight of the child. You know, so if you don't know,
even the age.
So if you don't know most of these things, it becomes a problem. And then how do you, once you have the little injury, what's the first thing you apply? You know, that was where I needed the doctor to really...
I don't know if you have any question, you can always send it to a text message. We can always get all the response you want to send to us, and we'll get, you know, you get the feedback as we go on the program. And I remember,
I think you also need a thermostat for children to check their it's very important. You need a thermostat. You need a thermostat to check their temperature as it goes up, so that you monitor it and write it down.
Very, very important.
As you take it, you monitor it, you write it down, so that when you get to the hospital, you'll be able to say, okay, all through the night, this was what it was.
When I noticed it, and now what is it? Has it come down? Has it, you know, increased and all that? It's very important.
I think I can share an experience. I remember when my daughter was 9 months, I didn't know she had measles, and she was running temperature all through the night. I know measles temperature is continuous. I kept using water, and so I started, because I had it, so I started monitoring it, and so the next morning she was still running temperature. When I took it to the health center around, they checked it, and they said, this is measles. The first thing they asked me was, did you administer any antibiotics? I said, no, I did not. I was just cleaning. They said, okay, thank God. And then they had to use, you know, and they said, no, this is measles.
That's why I said, even as much as you have this first aid kit,
you don't just rush into
you don't just
administering
even the antibiotics, you don't. And you remember I said it, that no matter how much you run away from going to the hospital, many spiritually we are loaded. Yes, as much as you are spiritually loaded, you need to be physically knowledgeable.
Physically knowledgeable, because it's good for you to check your BP. It's not because you are, even when you are born into that family, and maybe your mom had it, your junior sisters and others don't have it. It's just for you to have a proper health check of yourself, to know that you're sound physically. Even on phones now, you can actually check your BP with your phone. You can check a lot of things with your phone. For those of you that have Android, that's why they say that 70% of the apps on Android phones have not been utilized. And check your BP through your phone.
The reason why I said you must have a doctor as a friend, a family friend, you must have the contact on your phone. It's not just business contact person that you keep on your phone. Please, it's very important. The reason is because they will be able to guide you.
Even if you're running away from going to the hospital, middle of the night is
middle
important.
Of the night, you have somebody you can reach out to who is a nurse, who is a health professional. Let me put it that way, health professional. All they do is to care and make sure there is no way you will cause any medical person.
And they will not answer you.
And they will not answer you, or they will not show concern.
Definitely they will ask
feel
you.
like, I need to assist or help this person. You may be looking, am I not going? Don't worry, you are not going to be a bother as long as you are not becoming beggy all the time. Just as much as possible, make sure that you have a friend, a family friend, who is a medical person, a nurse, a health guide that can help you when it comes to emergency, so that they will be able to put you through. Like, I was watching a video of CPS, of how a child, a baby, was resuscitated just by doing
the normal respiratory, mouth-to-mouth respiratory system.
Process. A baby. Imagine if there was
no one.
If those military guys were not trained, anyone and everyone is supposed to know how to do it. It is very important. Respiratory.
Very important. Very important.
To save you, to save people around you, to save your loved ones, to save your friend, your neighbor. There are ways we need to do all this. Unfortunately, the network is not making it easy for us this morning. But I want to believe that we'll have another opportunity to have a medical person, Dr. Africa, or any of our medical personnel in the house to help us to shed more light on this, because this is not our area of specialty. You know that. And that's why we bring them to you right from the source, from where we can actually acquire the knowledge and understanding of what are the detailed way, you understand, to put this through, so that we'll not miss anything. We'll not be using what do you call it now, cotton wool, when you are supposed to be using sanitizer. And I tell you, before the time of Ebola, do you know I've always had sanitizer in my bag?
I even before,
That's
for me, it wasn't an
that's
issue.
More, you know, many don't really, to be sincere. But then how much they sell sanitizer? That's small, and I love small pocket stuff in my bag.
The thing is, while we're growing up, talking about having a medical personnel as a friend, while we're growing up, I had this bosom friend of mine. The mom was a medical personnel, and so my dad, for maybe their house was just like opposite our house. So for every time there was an issue, you hear my dad, go and call Mama Nurse.
That's how they call them.
Yeah, go and call Mama Nurse. And because she was just a stone throw away, it was more like we're having 2 a.m., 12 a.m. Sometimes one of the sons have to walk her to our place. You know, so it may, even when there was this, we had this thing, the chicken pox that broke out in the family. I don't know, for some reason, myself, my twin didn't even contact it. She was the one that was there to really take care of that issue. Do you understand? So it's important when you have someone like a medical personnel that is reachable. It must not necessarily be a medical doctor with a nurse. It could be a nurse, a health person, you know, that is reachable to you and accessible, that can come the following morning very early to check up on you, to know how you're doing.
Need for you to go for a proper, you know, treatment.
And then they'll tell you, yes.
Okay, someone has been taking care of me. These are the things I've been able to take before now. So they will know how they will continue the treatment. It's very important. And it's not just for me, it's not just for her, it's for all of us.
It's for all of us. It's for all of us.
Children.
Kids can wake up with anything.
Don't forget, all these things we're talking about are not play kids. You don't put them where
you keep them away from the kids.
Easily access them.
Keep them away from the kids.
Even, you know, when I heard that they use a particular cough syrup as a substance and people get abused.
Yes, because it's intoxicating.
My God.
It's intoxicating.
Seriously, we use this when we're young, and whenever we have cough, they'll tell you stay at home, sleep, so that you
sleep. So that
your cough can, because when you're coughing sporadically, it increase your way, the breathing and everything. The force at which, so they need something that relax you and
that will put them off to sleep.
And I said, wow.
And then you see one adult putting the whole substance inside
one container
and drinking.
So we are saying all this so that as much as it's good in the home, we should also keep a tab on everything. Do you know some people put padlock on their first aid kit?
Yes, but even though it's not supposed to be so.
So that the children will not be able to. Okay, I remember one of these days I'll bring him. We'll be talking on drugs. Yeah, he used to be the former director when we talk about drug Christian against drug abuse ministry. Dr. Adedeji. Now. He was saying something about a child that the mother always buy this methylated spirit, and he got to a stage they didn't know he has been going to inhale it, and that was how he started. They didn't know. So the man now said, okay, if the thing has been missing, he said, okay, you know what, buy the same substance, put it where he can see it. So after he had seen it, mommy, you bought another one. He said, yes, I did. He said he took it away, should take it away from there and go and keep it somewhere he never even imagined. He said, the boy now said, mommy, but you bought that methylated, what happened? Where is it? It's not there anymore. He said, don't worry, I have kept it where I need to keep it. Mommy, why are you keeping it now? Said that was when they knew the boy was actually using it.
Do you know I was coming to that. When you open methylated spirit and you inhale it, that's why when you're administering certain things, you keep them far away. It has a very high level of strong toxicity, and so sometimes you sneeze.
That's why it's methylated.
That, you first sneeze and before you even start administering, and for some reason you just see yourself wanting to inhale whatever comes out of it. So I can really understand what he was talking about. But then somebody said, someone sent in a message and said, I have a first aid box at home. I administer it only when I think it's necessary, because my child once opened it and wanted to drink the methylated spirit, thinking it was water.
And our guest is here.
Because
hello, Africa, are you there?
Because she was below 3 years. Oh God, I don't know. Below 3 years. Now that's one of the viewers that sent in the message. She said she had to start locking her first aid box simply because her 3-year-old child, or a child below 3 years, saw methylated spirit and thought it was water and wanted to drink it.
So Africa, are you still there? Is our guest still
Yes,
there?
I am.
Come on.
Just say something and as we round off. Hello, Africa.
Okay. Hello. I'm so sorry for not
it's so
being
good
on.
to have you. Can you hear him?
Yeah, it's clear too, but I'm so sorry.
So
yes, I am. I can hear you.
Sorry.
I'm hearing you.
Can you just give us 2 minutes and just shed a little light on the topic of what we've been talking about, the first aid kits?
Okay.
Can you just
what is first? Yes, what is first aid?
Just wrap it up.
Yes. Okay, what is first aid? First aid is the first treatment you give to an injured person or someone that suffers a particular accident or illness before the arrival of a doctor, before you take the person to a doctor. That is number one. So number two, we need to be careful with our first aid boxes. We need to keep it safe, out of the reach of children and out of the reach of unauthorized use. That is number two. Number three, what are those things that are meant to be in a first aid box? I said earlier, first aid is a treatment given to someone before the arrival of a doctor, if I'm communicating. So what are the accidents we have in the house? We have cuts. So when there is cut, what are those things we do to cut? We stop bleeding, we disinfect, and we sterilize. So which means you must have in that first aid box of yours swabs, that is those what you people call net-like bandages, cotton wool. You must have spirits, you must have disinfectants like Savlon, Dettol, whatsoever it is in your first aid box, and there must be what we use for dressing. So what do we dress wood with? I could remember when I was young, iodine tincture was an integral part of every first aid box. So you must have an iodine, maybe iodine tincture or povidone iodine in your first aid box. What are those problems we suffer in the house mostly? Running stomach. So tackling running stomach, there must be medication that will stop you from going to the from having diarrhea or stooling uncontrollably, which means you must have in your first aid box tablets such as loperamide and metronidazole, commonly known as Flagyl. In addition to that, there must be your ORS, because imagine someone that stood all through the night. Dehydration would have set in, and once dehydration sets in, you need to do some micro elements will have leached out. So there must be a way to replace them. So there must be ORS. We can all take care of ORS. Then another thing that must be in your first aid box again is that thermometer. I heard Joy call it thermostat. I was just laughing. Thermostat is used to regulate temperature in equipment like iron, ovens, and the likes. But in the case of checking temperature, it is called thermometer man. So that when you have a case of fever is what we call high temperature. Fever is not a disease. So you have to monitor it. And with respect to fever, there must be what we call antipyretic in your first aid box, which is paracetamol or ibuprofen. But you people said something the other time. You must know the dosage with respect to age. Now, when we talk about that, now another thing you need to have in your first aid box are all these balms that we use for massages in case of sprain and strains in the house. And there should be bandages. Well, I could remember when I was growing up, I was a member of the Boy Scout, and we were taught first aid as a course, a fundamental course in training as scouts. But unfortunately, these days, most people don't even know how to apply first aid. So because if there is a need for a bandage, how will you know the type of bandage you are going to fix? Whether it is triangular. Triangular is actually used when there is a kind of a dislocation to suspend the hand till you get to the hospital. Now, one common accident we have in the house is burns. So when it comes to burns, what are those things that we need to keep in the first aid box for the burns? Fine. I tell people this, you must have pure rest original honey in your first aid box. Then there must be gentian violet too, what we call GV. Am I communicating, please? When it comes to burns, then another thing that we suffer in the house basically that most people don't really think about are bites, which can cause allergies. So when we have that, we should have in our first aid boxes anti-histamine. But please and please and please, always evaluate everything you have in your first aid box every six months to know what is missing and what is not missing. So as I was back to what we're saying, the essence of your first aid box is to stand in the gap for your person or your relative, your child, and probably make you a doctor or a nurse when there is no doctor around. Thank you. You guys have been able to do a kind of a summary. Am I right?
Yes, you have, and we are so grateful. Thank you so much, Africa. Round of applause, Africa. Really, thank you. Splendid day. He's the medical director of MedMade Care. Okay,
Dr. Africa, thank you
I give
very
you just
much.
30 seconds.
You know, I actually knew it was much later. I remembered it was thermometer I wanted to talk about. Thank you so very much for that.
Joy.
Yes, it's been a wonderful one. We thank Dr. Africa for coming to do a summary of what we've been discussing since, and like you heard him, evaluate your first aid box. Thank you for being a part of Healthy Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow. My name still remains Joy Abu.
Okay, from me, Ofemi Emmanuel, happy birthday to you from Oluwashemilore. Happy, many fulfilling new year. So from me, I still remain Olori Adejoke. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for being there. Thank you to all our crews, and thank you to our boss at the top. Thank you, sir. God bless you. And to the Almighty God, see you tomorrow. Bye.